and tight, can you see it? Streaming the truth live from where they decree it. Sylvia speaks, no filter, no buffer. Courtroom drama couldn't get any tougher.
When the gavel's first bang, to the witness turns tears. Sylvia's lens captures all your hopes and fears. Uploading justice one trial at a time. Tune in every moment, edges sublime.
Welcome to the Sylvia Show, oh yeah. She's got the inside scoop, don't you care? With every verdict, the suspense does grow. So hit subscribe, let's start the show. Welcome to the Sylvia Show, oh yeah. She's got the inside scoop, don't you care? With every verdict, the suspense does grow. So hit subscribe, let's start the show. Faces tell stories, the courtroom can't hide. Sylvia's insights cut through the divide. From jury talks to the lawyer's secret. In Sylvia's world, you know you'll need it. Behind the scenes where whispers are loud, her lens reveals the truth in the crowd. Courtroom secrets laid bare to see. Stay curious with Sylvia Spree. Every objection, every sharp retort, Sylvia's there to give you the report. Exclusive footage no one else can snag. From catchy headlines straight to the tag. Welcome to the Sylvia Show, oh yeah. She's got the inside scoop, don't you care? With every verdict, the suspense does grow. So hit subscribe, let's start the show. Welcome to the Sylvia Show, oh yeah. She's got the inside scoop, don't you care? With every verdict, the suspense does grow. So hit subscribe, let's start the show.
Faces tell.
Hey everybody. Just wait for some folks to come on in. Let's give them a few minutes to get in because you know me, I don't like repeating myself. Shout out to my mods who have helped me with these thumbnails and these overlays and these wonderful artistic talents that they have. It's not me, y'all, it's them and their artistic talent. So shout out to SSS and shout out to CMT. These are the ladies' handiwork. This is their work here, not mine. So I do not take the credit for their work. All right, we got 57 people in the chat between the two channels. We got 65, and I'm gonna go ahead on. I have a video to show you guys. I have a video to show you guys. But I want to do my little disclaimer first. Hold on, because folks think that I am a podcaster and all this other stuff. I am going to do my little disclaimer here. My disclaimer says, I got to change the color, y'all. Y'all know me in the colors. I don't like that blue stuff. I like the purple. I'm a purple girl, okay? All right, it says here, I, infamous Sylvia, am part of new media, a trial vlogger who reports facts with an entertainment undertone, meaning sometime I will act silly. I'm not the traditional news company. I'm not that at all. I'm an independent individual who do things a little bit different from the traditional news. But I will give you the facts. And if I don't know something, I will tell you I don't know. And if I need to correct something, I will come back with correction. Okay. So, and I know folks try to put me in a box. Don't put me in a box. I'm not supposed to be in a box. Okay. I am an individual who's totally different. Okay. So take me as I am. If not, move on. All right. So shout out to my artists. My artistes. All right, let me get rid of that. Okay. And don't be talking about my hair either. Because I'm just gonna keep changing the colors and all that kinds of. I'm gonna enjoy this fun hair stuff. Okay. If it bothers you that you know that my hair is bald or I got sides faded or whatever, it is what it is. I'm just gonna be me. Okay, enjoying myself of being me. So all the little comments that y'all may have, it's going in one ear and coming out the other. Okay. So I have to do that little disclaimer to folks because folks just be trying to put me in a box. Don't put me in a box. But anyway, let's go. Today was the hearing for Young Thug wasn't really their hearing. It was a hearing for the Young Thug's attorney put in a hearing for them for the judge to throw out the appeal motion that the state was trying to put in, right? And I did take notes, y'all. I took some studious notes. Yeah, I took some notes, and I'm gonna read from my notes. And let me tell you something. I'm not the attorney. Some of the stuff they were talking, it was just going over my head. All I can do right now to you guys is read what was said in court. Do I understand everything they were saying? Nope. Am I going to just relate the message of what was said? Yep. But I don't know the logistic, the jargons, the casework, and I don't know none of that stuff. All I'm going to do is just tell you what happened. I'm going to tell you the scoop, who sat here, what happened there, who walked in. I'm going to tell you what they won't tell you, okay? I'm going to tell you those type of things. If you're nosy like me, you're going to hear the nosy stuff, okay? All right? Now, I don't have the fashion stuff either. I could tell you what Jeffrey had on. I like his belt. Yeah, his belt was really nice. And I told you guys, he lost a lot of weight compared to what he was looking like. When the last day I saw him in court, he lost a lot of weight. And then I asked him about that. I said, how did you lose that weight? He says he stopped eating so much. So I was like, okay, all right, okay, dude. But I'm going to tell you what happened. Okay. When I first got there, I got there like about 12:30. I got there and I went upstairs. We were on the 5th floor. 5D is where Judge Whitaker's courtroom is. I went up there and I sat down. Oh man, I forgot. I was supposed to go by and see one of the deputies. Dang, I forgot. Dang on it. Well, anyway, I went to 5D and I sat down on a bench right before the door. The door was locked. I tried to open up the door. The door was locked and everything, right? And so I sat down and I had text someone and I told them that I was here and they told me where they were at. So I was going to go visit them afterwards, but I didn't get a chance to visit them. See this head of mine? I forgot about it, right? Oh, thank you, Kim. She said my hair is cute. I think it's cute too. I think it's cute. But you know what? Let me shut it. Okay, yeah, sorry. The ADDHD, whatever thing is kicking in. But look, this gray part didn't take the color too much. So I have to, it's not bald head, it's gray. It's not bald, it's gray hair. It didn't take too well. See? Didn't take too well. So I just have to. Whereas a lot of hair, it took real well. And it wasn't that much gray. But this here is all gray, y'all. Oh, it's not bald head. It's just gray. Okay, just sorry, y'all. Sorry. It's your fault, Kim. Don't talk about my hair because you know me. I go all over the place. Well, anyway, back to what we were talking about. We came in and I sat down and I was waiting for the door to open because it was locked. And then the deputy came out. One of the boss came out and she was like, Miss Sylvia, how do you know this was going on? Because we didn't know it either. And I was like, I got my ways. Y'all know me. I'm a nosy son of a, So that is one of the reasons why I go to the courthouse, y'all. I go to the courthouse. I get into the computer. I go and I put my ears to the wall. I listen to everything. I am nosy. When I say nosy, so don't come around me if you don't want me to know what's going on, because I am going to be like this. I'm going to be listening. I'm going to be looking, I'm going to ask questions. So that is how I found out that this was going to happen. And what did I do? I popped up. I made sure I found out the time it was going to be. I knew it was going to be today, but I wanted to tell the time. So I didn't want you guys to know what was happening until I did it, because I noticed something. When I say something is going to happen, or I'm going to do something, if I say it out too much before time, for some strange reason, I believe some of you guys be praying against me and my stuff falls through and it doesn't happen. So that's why I got to keep my mouth shut and not say anything until I do it. You get what I'm saying? That's what I have to do from with now, because I notice when I start talking about good things that's happening, what I'm doing, I open up my mouth and then one of y'all praying against it and it just collapse all apart, you know? So now I don't say nothing until I'm doing it. So now y'all can't sabotage my stuff, okay? Can't sabotage it, because I noticed that some of y'all probably praying against me. But anyway, I got there. Thank you, V. I came out the bushes to drop a gem and pray that others are listening. Drop a gem too. Thank you. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. Okay. Shout out to V for the super chat. I got my little bell for here. But when y'all drop the money, drop the coins. But anyway, so that's one of the reasons why from now on, I don't say anything to you guys, because I just go ahead on, let it happen, and then tell you afterwards. Because a lot of people was asking me this morning, like, "Oh, is Jeffrey gonna be there?" And all that. I ain't answering no question. I ain't saying nothing, right? I ain't saying, because folks will be trying to run and get there and then get the news, and I ain't saying nothing. I ain't saying not one word, okay? So I got there, and Mr. Steele, remember I told you the deputy asked me how did I know, and I told them that I have my ways and stuff like that. So they were not letting me in. That's why I went into X and I said to everybody, I'm sitting in the hallway waiting for the court to start. They letting the attorneys in. They haven't let me in yet. So I'm the only one sitting out in the hallway. The only person sitting out there. So they let the attorney, first the state came in, the two guys who I've never seen before. They were never part of the YSL trial, but two guys came in. One white guy, looked like he's some Southerner, skinny, thin white guy, and another guy, he looks like he could be Indian or something like that. So those two went in, and then Mr. Steele and Leanne came. So Mr. Steele came, and I stood up and I hugged Mr. Steele. He was like, "Hey, Sylvia," he says, "Good to see you." And then he introduced me to Leanne. Shout out to Leanne. She was in the courtroom. She was an attorney with Mr. Steele. Shout out to her. It was my first time meeting her. Hey, Leanne. But anyway, so they went in, and I'm still sitting in the hallway by myself, waiting for them to let us in. So right about, I would say 10 to 1, they opened up the door and Ham came out. Y'all know who Ham is, right? Ham is the deputy who is part of YSL. He was a kind of little the heavy one. He was thick, muscle bound. Well, Ham came out, and so he unlocked the door and he undid the key. And I said, "So you gonna let me in now?" He said, "Yeah, come on in." So lo and behold, I came in. I can have any seat that I want. I want to be nosy. So what I do, I get in the seat all the way up to the front to where you can hear like a pin drop, right? So I get up there and I sit down, and we wait a few minutes. I'm having conversation with Ham, having conversation with the colonel. I was having conversation with her, and we're just talking and everything. And I was telling her, she was asking me what case I was doing. I was just running my mouth, telling them about the cases I'm doing. I told them I've been hanging out in Cobb County and just telling them all this kind of stuff, right? And then one of them said, "Oh, I saw you were doing Diddy trial." I said, "Yeah." They said, "How was that?" And I was telling them how my experience was and all that kind of stuff. So we finished talking, and then then Laurel came in. Laura, she was Judge Whitaker's staff attorney. She came in, and the court reporter came in, and she was talking. She came over to Mr. Steele and Leanne and the other guy to get their name, the spelling of their name, because she want to make sure she gets their name correct, right? So she gets their name and everything. She writes it down on a piece of paper and she goes and sit down. And then Ham says, all rise. So we all get up, right? It's only me in the gallery now. Nobody else is in the gallery. Nobody else is in the gallery. So we get up. Judge Whitaker comes in. She sits down, and then she starts. She didn't even call the calendar for the case. I was ready to write the case number down, but I still don't have the case number because she didn't call the calendar. But I went in and searched the case number and got the case number anyway. So she goes and she says, we're here for a motion for dismissal. Is that correct? And then they agreed and everything, right? So what happened is they had Miss Parker, who is the court reporter for the last motion they're hearing in regard to this civil suit, right? Now, she is the one who took notes, and she had this transcript, right? So she was on the Zoom. She was on the the visual thing, right? She was on there, and so Judge Whitaker asked the state and Mr. Steele regarding her giving testimony in regard to the transcript. Now, let's back up a little bit. The last hearing they had, the state had put in a motion for an appeal, but they also said that they were going to get the transcript from Miss Parker. Miss Parker is the court reporter that was there before. Now, there is a court reporter that is there today, but that's not the same one. It's a different court reporter. So Miss Parker was on the Zoom, and the court reporter that was taking the name down, she was in the courtroom with us. Okay? All right. So the judge asked about Miss Parker and the transcript and stuff. The delay was because the state wanted to be able to ask Miss Parker for the transcript, and so they did not ask. They didn't even request the transcript from Miss Parker. So he claims that he didn't. The state claims that he did not. He didn't remember to contact her to get the transcript. But remember, the reason why there was a delay before is because they wanted to get that for the appeal. Okay? So the judge asked Mr. Steele and the state, can she release Miss Parker from testimony, because there was no need for her to testify because the state didn't even request it from her, the transcript. So it was a delayed tactic on the state part. So the judge released Miss Parker from the Zoom. She went on about her business. So the judge went on to ask about the dismissal of the appeal, which is the motion that Mr. Steele put in, right? So Mr. Steele allowed the state to go first to give their account of what's supposed to happen, right? Before they did that, the judge asked, will there be any evidence presented on either side? Mr. Steele says that he didn't have any evidence. Then the state said they didn't have any evidence. So both sides was not presenting any type of evidence. I know that part, okay? So Mr. Steele let the state goes first to give their argument of why the judge should not dismiss the appeal. Okay? The judge first asked the guy, basically, you've been here. This is like the third type of hearing, and to this extent, are you misleading or misrepresenting misrepresenting to the court of what is actually basically what actually happened? I'm paraphrasing because I wrote my notes and my notes is not like precisely what it was said, but she basically, one of the things I remember her saying, "Are you misleading the court?" And so he answered her, says, "No, he is not intentionally misleading the court, and it's not out of malice, right?" And so he started talking about the agreement that he had with the defense in regard to property re and return. Now, this is what he said. Okay, he said they came up with a solution, and that solution was that they will give the property to the defendant, Mr. Williams, but here's the big but. The likelihood of them going to an appeal, and if they win the appeal, Mr. William will have to be responsible for returning those property to them. And if there's be a fire or a theft or whatever it is, that Mr. William will be responsible for returning the cost or the value of those items to the state. That's if they win the appeal. That's a big if. Remember I talked about if was a drunk, it'd be, if was a fifth, then it'd be a drunk, whatever. Remember I was saying that? So the judge was like, "Oh, no, I don't even want to hear about this, okay? We're here for the motion about the appeal. Whatever agreement you guys have, she's not interested." She says, "I'm not interested in that, okay? The settlement issues that you got here, I'm not interested, okay? Not interested." So then Mr. Steele said, hold up. The state must be mixing something up. I did not waive my motion for dismissal. And so the state guy goes and say, basically, no, that's not what he's saying. So eventually the judge started talking about the motion for the appeal dismissal. Mr. Steele came up and told her that basically that the state erred by not contacting the court reporter. Basically, that in itself was a misrepresentation that they were going to get the transcript, right? And they never filed for it. So how is it not misleading the court? That's what Mr. Steele said. And then the judge chimed in on it and said, yes, basically that you did mislead the court in this, because you said that you were going to contact the court reporter, which you did not. And this was basically delayed the process of them getting this stuff back, blah, 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 because you're going to go for the appeal. Okay. And he said the state did not do their job, right? And it basically is intentionally to delay the court. That's what the judge said right here, right? And so the state guy comes back. He says it was not out of malice, Your Honor. Okay. So Mr. Steele says he wants the judge to make a ruling and to strike the state's appeal, right? And he says there's no valid basis for them to even try to delay this, because they had plenty of times to doing this, right? And then Judge Steele says we have rules, and we have the court, and we have to follow these rules, right? That's why the court is here, and that's why the rules are set. So therefore, the state basically is playing games, okay? Playing games and trying to buy more time. And basically, Mr. William wants his stuff back. He does all of this trying to appeal and all this kind of stuff is just nonsense. This is Sylvia saying that part. They didn't say that. I'm just saying that. This is what I felt about it, right? And he says, Mr. Williams have been treated unfairly. throughout this whole process. Okay? And he says, all the law has been cited and has been justified. He has given all justification of the case itself, right? And he says, Mr. Williams just wants his property back. I wrote down right there, Mr. Williams wants his property back, right? That's basically what he wants. He wants his property back, right? And he has the right. He has done the right thing. He wants his stuff back. Right? And they need to return Mr. Williams' stuff. Right? It is clear that there is no foundation for them to be able to still be able to try to keep Mr. Williams' stuff. Okay? And then Judge Whitaker steps in and she said, it is pretty clear that the statute of motions to dismiss their appeal is granted. That's what she said. Is granted. Because then she goes on and she's talking about the basis of the motion and all this stuff that was on. She says that you misled the courts by saying that you was going to have the court reporter to do this, blah, 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 blah. This is me saying blah, 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 blah. And so therefore, I am granting the motion for the appeal to be dismissed. Okay. Now they're going to come in and talk about when is he going to get his stuff back. Okay. The state goes and say he's still trying to do this little mumbo jumbo stuff about him getting the stuff, and still goes in and he says that motion for superseding the bond is mute. That's what the judge said. For superseding the bond is mute, right? And he says, don't clarify on whether or not the appeal, because there's some problem, because the state brought up something happened to do with a prior case where the court gave the items back within 30 days of winning the court case, right? But these people are way beyond the 30 days, because remember, this stuff happened last year. And remember, the forgery stuff was on hold for a while. So I don't know how it's still standing. I just think she's giving them more chances than so later on where they can never come back and say, oh, she didn't do right by us. She didn't do. And I think that's where Judge Whitaker is at. She's trying to be as fair as possible, giving them all the angles for them to even, I mean, she wants this to be a solid decision and not having to redo this or having it turned over, right? So what she did, she told them that they need to come together and come up with a decision, because she doesn't want to make a decision on the bond thing yet. I mean, not the bond, the when the property is supposed to be returned. She wants them to make that decision on their own, right? But then they talked about the statutory argument, right? There's no statutory, I mean, I think everything is beyond the time limit, you know? And so for the state to still try to hang on, you know what I think, y'all? I think they spent that money. I think they basically divvied out the stuff, and now they're like, oh crap, how do we get this stuff back? I think they probably already sold some of that stuff. Do you understand what I'm saying? I think now they're trying to find a way to get this stuff. Do you understand what I'm saying? I think somebody was saying she probably gave it to Wade, and I don't know. I don't want to get all caught up in that kind of stuff, but I think the reason why they prolonging this and trying to buy time is they trying to find a way to try to get this man's stuff back. Those cars and all that. Remember, there's a lot of stuff. a lot of stuff. And I think you remember they had the Jeep, they had the Mercedes, they had the Lamborghini, they had the G-Wagon, they had all that stuff. And then they had $149,000 cash. Why can't they give up the cash? I think they're just trying to figure out how the heck they're going to get that stuff back. They counted their chicken before it hatched. I think they really put that cart before the horse. They were banking on making sure that he was convicted for the charges that would take forfeitures, and it didn't happen that way. So now it's like they're trying to figure out how to get this stuff back to this man. Because the guy, let me tell you, the guy talked about some unclaimed property. I'm like, if you have the unclaimed property stuff that you're trying to find a judge, trying to get the judge to find out who this unclaimed property is, why don't you have the stuff that he owned? Why did you decide to get rid or auction off his? I'm saying auction. I don't know if they did that, but it's obvious they're scrambling, trying to find out where his stuff is. They're trying to scramble where his stuff is. That's what I see. And then they put this poor guy there who don't have a clue. This guy didn't even work the case. So why would you put somebody that don't know anything about this case trying to talk about this forfeiture and trying to talk about where this thing is? Allegedly. Thank you, Hazel. Allegedly. Everything we say here is allegedly, because we don't want nobody coming back and saying that Sylvia said this. This is Sylvia talking from my mind. Just my opinion, guys. Just my opinion. I try not to give my opinion to all of this, but I got to use some common sense a little bit, because something is not fitting. Something not befitting here. Okay. So while they talking about this is when Mr. Williams come into the courtroom, him and a gentleman. They came into the courtroom, and he sits behind me, right? So I see him. I say, hey. And he say, I said, well, they have already decided on the appeal part. He said, oh, they did? I said, yeah, they talked about the appeal part already. And it was in your favor. That's what I said to him. I said, it was in your favor. The judge denied it. So then he sits there, he starts listening to what they're talking about, this whole, when can he get his property back and stuff like that. So he's sitting in there. And the judge make a decision that the state and the defense have to come up with something. And she doesn't want to make a decision right now in regards to it. So she's giving it up to them to try to come up with something, right? And so the judge adjourned the hearing. So Mr. Williams stands up. He goes up to the front towards Mr. Bryan, and he speaks to the judge. The judge speaks to him, and the court reporter that's there comes over to him. Of course, she wants a picture. So one of the attorney takes a picture of him and the court reporter. And I'm sitting there just being nosy, just watching everything. These two state guys decide they leave. They go on about their business. And Mr. Steele, Mr. William, and Leanne, they all standing there just talking to each other. So what I did, I go up into the hallway, and so I start talking to Ham, which is the deputy. Start talking to him, and then that's when Mr. William and Mr. Steele, we're all like in the doorway between the courtroom and then the thing. So when I saw Mr. Williams stand up, I was like, oh, wow, you have lost some weight. And I said, what are you doing to lose the weight? He's like, I stopped eating so much. I said, oh, okay. So we're all standing there. We're all having conversation. It's only like about 5 of us. We all just talking, just shooting the breeze. And then Mr. Steele asked Mr. William to come into the room so they can discuss. I think they was discussing the items that I don't know for sure. This is my assumption. They were discussing the items that I think he is missing, what he's wanting and things like that. So they went into the room, and I'm in the hallway. So I'm sitting there waiting, and it's taking them a long time. And then I get on the phone, start talking to CMT. Then I tell CMT I'm about to leave, and then I get down in the elevator, go downstairs because I'm like, I ain't staying here. I don't know if this man gonna give me a conversation, take a picture with me or whatever. And so CMT convinced me to get back up in the elevator, go back up there and sit where I'm supposed to sit and wait on that man. I was like, well, suppose he doesn't want to give me a picture. She's like, she's giving me the third degree about, you were there, you're the only one there. And then I had to show proof with these people here that, like I was in there. Yes, he was there. He showed up. He was in the courtroom. It was myself, the guy with him, and the deputies, and the court reporter, Miss Laura, and the judge. That was it. Nobody else was there but us. I was the only person that was not part of the case. Me and that guy, of course, and the deputies. That we were there, and nobody else was there. Nobody, okay? Nobody, because they kind of kept it like kind of hush secretive, because on the docket you saw that the judge put the date for the hearing, but you didn't see no time, you didn't see no courtroom, because most of the time Judge Whitaker would have the stuff downstairs in 1C, but this time she had it in her courtroom, which is 5D. It was up there, and then the time was at 1:00, and it was nobody. When I tell you nobody was there. And he slipped up there, and he sat up there, and so I went back up because CMT told me to. I had to listen to CMT because I was already having a crappy day, right? Because I was supposed to do this Zoom, and the Zoom thing didn't work out, and I was already in my feelings, right? I was in my feelings, and so CMT was giving me the pep talk about, you work hard at doing this, and you deserve to get that. Even if he doesn't give you a picture, even if he doesn't want to interview, just stay up there, just and then I finally listened to her, right? That's why when you saw the picture of me taking, that was CMT on the phone with me. I was like this, talking to her throughout the whole time. I'm talking to this woman. She's giving me the pep talk, man. But me, I really don't want to hear it, okay? I really didn't want to hear it because I wanted to go home. I was not in that good space. Right? So it's taking them a long time. I'm still talking to CMT. We're on the phone for about 20 minutes now. And I'm like, I want to go home. I want to leave. I'm already upstairs now. I'm back on the 5th floor. I came back from the 1st floor back onto the 5th floor. I'm up there just complaining, me and my complaining self. And I'm just like, I want to go home. And then I started thinking, I was like, you know what, CMT, you're right. I am the only one here. You're right. Right? So I started getting pepped up. And then I said, CMT, I hear him in the hallway. He's in the hallway. So what really helped me out is when the colonel was walking by me, and I was sitting on the bench, and she said, they still in the room talking. So to me, it was like, oh, they're not trying to kick me out. Because, at first, they'd be like, okay, security's around him, and you need to go. You don't need to be talking to him, blah, 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 right? So she says, they're still in there. They're still in there. I said, okay. So, that was like that moment of like, okay, Sylvia, this is it for you, okay? So she gets in the elevator. Colonel gets in the elevator. She goes on about her business. And then Ham comes around the corner. Ham goes and says, oh, there go Miss Sylvia. She's been waiting on you. That's what he tells Jeffrey. There go Miss Sylvia. He's been waiting on you, right? So we all get in the elevator. So I get in the elevator with them. So I was like, well, I want to take a picture. And then the captain was like, Miss Sylvia, you're not supposed to take no picture in here, right? So I couldn't take a picture in there. She said, you're not supposed to take. I said, okay. And so he's like, this is Miss Sylvia? That's what Jeffrey said. We're in the elevator. He said, this is Miss Sylvia. He says, yeah. Ham says, yeah, Miss Sylvia was with you throughout the whole thing, the whole 2 years. He was like, because you know what? First of all, I was fatter. And then my hair was bald. I was totally bald. I didn't have no hair up here, and it was not this color. So I was looking totally different. So he didn't recognize me. And then remember, he's slim too. So I'm slim. So we both looking a little bit different, right? So so then when we get downstairs in the elevator, so then this is when I start doing this. Hold on, y'all. I'm gonna show y'all. Hold on. I got a little clip for y'all. Hold on. So we get downstairs and I am ready to get some footage, right? This is what I got. All right, here we go. Record him here now. I'm just gonna take a record him going in the car. That's all I can do. I just got to do. I wanted to take a picture, but I wanted to take a picture. Thank you. Thank you. Okay. Thank you so much. Okay, so he came back because he was getting in the car. Then he realized he didn't take a picture with Miss Sylvia. So he came back and took a picture with me. But I didn't even take a picture because I ended up doing a video instead of a picture, like I did with Cardi B that time. I messed up and I was trying to take a picture and I couldn't take a picture, guys. Like, so that's the same thing I did. So that's where that video came in at of him coming back. He came back because he was getting in the car. Then he remembered, hey, I'm supposed to give him Miss Sylvia a picture. So came back, stood with me, took a picture, hugged me, and then went on about his business. So that's where that picture came from. So shout out to CMT. She is the reason why I was able to get a picture, because she's the one that helped me to put on my grown girl panties and just stick it out, because she was like, you've been there all this time and you've been there from the beginning and you're the only one there. Why not have something for it? So he did that. He did come back to me so I could take that picture with him, So I don't like being pushy on anybody, because none of these celebrities ask for all of this, right? So I try to stay in my space, and I'm not a groupie. I don't do that groupie stuff. So if a person doesn't feel like doing a picture, I mean, all I can do is ask you one. If you don't want to take a picture with me, if you don't want to give me an interview, I'm not gonna beg anybody. And I wasn't a scaredy cat. I just didn't feel like to bothering somebody, you know what I mean? And not that I was bothering, I was just showing that, hey, I'm not like everybody else. I wasn't like everybody else. And so, and then I get a call. His dad was like, Sylvia, why you didn't call me and tell me you was at the courthouse? I was like, he says, normally you call me. I said, yeah, but I was in my feeling with you too. Because let me tell you why I was in my feeling with Big Jeff and the attorneys. Let me tell you why. They tell me after the concert that, hey, Miss Sylvia, we had a ticket. You could have had a ticket to go to the concert. Nobody called me before the concert. I sent a text message out to Big Jeff, and I said, Big Jeff, because it's a month before the concert, right? And I asked him about the concert. He never replied to my message. So I was like, you know what? I ain't chasing nobody. And then they tell me after the fact, Miss Sylvia, we had some ticket. You could have had a ticket. You could have had a VIP ticket. And now here all these people that was there. And they're like, you're the only one that was not there, Miss Sylvia. George Sheedy was there. And I'm like, all these people, why didn't I go? Yeah, so thank you, Crash Out Queen. And so let me tell you something. I was mad at him because I was like, he gave all these interviews to these people. But I gotta realize he's not the one controlling the narrative of his appearances. His team are the one behind it. Today he showed me that he does have a heart as far as trying to give back to, because he came back to me and gave me the picture and gave me the hug, and he remembered me, So So I had to get out of my feelings with him, got to get out of my feelings with the attorneys, because I was like, I was your girl. I was there for you every day. And I felt like, hey, yeah, they treat me like a wet food stamp now that this is over with. Everybody's doing fine. And nobody wants to, come back and just say, hey, Miss Sylvia, we got a ticket for you. We got this, we got that. I was kind of feeling some kind of way. I was. Not that I wanted to go. Y'all know I'm not into rap and music like that, but it would have been nice to be asked. You understand what I'm saying? Let me say no. Don't laugh, Miss Richard. Let me say no. Y'all understand what I'm saying, right? And sometimes I even told Big Jeff, I said, I felt that y'all just kicked me to the curb now. Now that the case is over, nobody's trying to do anything, and y'all just, they're like, no, it's not like that. It's not like that, Miss Sylvia. But I'm human, y'all. I was just feeling, I was all up in my feelings. But he made me feel better. He came back, and I felt better, I felt better. And I was even saying how Diddy team treat me really good. You know what I'm saying? I'm out of all the different celebrities that I've covered, no, Tyrese did me well too, because Tyrese gave me an interview. He had me get inside his Sprinter. Remember Tyrese? I was sitting inside of Tyrese Sprinter, and he gave me an interview. But then, like Cardi didn't give me anything. Who else? I mean, I just be feeling like some kind of way with these people, because it's like, I know y'all superstars and all that, but don't treat me like crap, because I was there trying to bring out the information on your case, and I was trying to be as neutral. I wasn't trying to be like the doggish main media dogging you out. I try to make you guys humanize you and telling about your families and stuff like that. Why y'all gotta dog me out? That's the way I felt, y'all. It's like, why y'all gotta dog me out? They didn't know that Mariah, if it wasn't for me, they would never known that Mariah was in the courtroom. All those pictures of the people that y'all saw in the courtroom was my pictures. I was the one showing that these people was at the courthouse. The main media wasn't showing the human side of them. They weren't. They could care less. All they wanted to do is give a story about how guilty those people were. And I used to tell them, I used to say, no, it's not that way. I used to fight with the mainstream media. I was always fighting with them. They don't even know how much I was fighting with those people. And I was like, no, it's not going to be. And look, they had to come back to me saying, Miss Sylvia, you were right. You were right about this case. You were right. I said, I told you. Because they would tell me, oh, they're going down. They're going down. You should see the amount of evidence they have. And I'm like, that is not evidence. That's just a narrative that somebody's putting out. So that is it. Do y'all want to see the video again? Want to see the video again? I'll show you the video. Hold on. Here we go. Record them here now. I'm just gonna take a record him going in the car. That's all I can do. I just got to do. I wanted to take a picture, but Thank you. Thank you. Okay. Thank you so much. You see it? There we go. So that is it. Anybody have any questions? You guys got questions? Thank you. We have over 230 some. We almost had 300 people up in this chat. I appreciate you guys. At this point of the case, she had got caught, and somebody who says she got caught recording. Huh? At some point of the case, she got caught, or somebody who she was with got caught recording. What are you talking about? I was always able to record. What are you talking about? I'm confused what you're talking about. Did the cop? I don't know about that. Missy, I don't know. I don't know anything about a cop getting caught with his stuff. Any rumors about me getting caught recording, that's a lie. I had a Rule 22, so that's not true. I had a Rule 22. I was legally able to record in the courtroom. Okay. You're talking about, okay, I get what you're talking about. You're talking about when somebody called and told that I was recording when the judge wasn't on the bench. Oh, okay, yeah. That did happen. That did happen. And that's when they yeah. Yeah, that did happen. That did happen. I remember that. That's why my Rule 22 got restricted. But listen, when I came back, Judge gave me my full rights again. I'm talking about when we started doing these this motion of this case, the civil part. She gave me my Rule 22, my full ability to record back. Y'all did see it because you saw me showing it, so she gave it back to me. She gave it back to me. She really did. She gave it back. So, and y'all saw me recording after this in the main courtroom, and y'all saw me recording the other guy's case. So, yeah, I got redeemed. I've been getting Rule 22 all cases. I've gotten Rule 22 all the way in Griffin. I've been getting Rule 22 for every place I go because now I know the rules of everything. I walk that straight line now. I don't deviate from the line. Okay. So I'm glad you remember the negative stuff, but I have moved beyond that. Yeah, that wasn't me that showed no, that wasn't me that showed Viverito. That was the main recording person because I didn't show her. That came from the main camera. Thank you, Crash Out, for reminding them. Yeah, so and I know some folks just hate it because I'm very independent. I don't move by what the mass media does. I know the rules. I know the conduct that I supposed to hold. I've been doing this now for 5.5 years, so I'm seasoned now. I'm seasoned. I don't make the mistakes that I made in the past. I know the rules of it. Most court system. I know how to get Rule 22. I know how to get my credentials, guys. Because look, I was in New York. I had my credentials in New York on the federal case, so I know how to do all that. Each state have their own rules. And what I do is I study the rules of that particular state, and then I abide by what rules they have. And I think I'm a pro at this now. What is the docket for tomorrow? Tomorrow is Cecil case, y'all. Tomorrow is Cecil's case. I'm supposed to go down there to Cecil's hearing, but I don't think his hearing is going to be much because they did a superseding indictment of his new charges. So that new charge, the date for that is February 9th. So I'm going to be in court on February 9th. Also, the young lady, Sarah Grace Patrick, I'm doing that case. I will be going to the bond hearing on the 27th of January. I'll be doing that tomorrow. And then we have Thursday, we have Julian Connolly, who was convicted, and now they are doing a motion for a new trial for him. So that is on Thursday. And then Friday, my boy Dom K will be in California. We're going to be covering the Boosie's sentencing. So we're going to be doing that. Then next week on the 12th, we're going to be doing Tim and Todd and Candy's case. Todd, I was reading your message about Tim and I made a mistake. Todd and Candy's case. Tim's thing was today. Today was Tim's case. I don't know what happened, Pebbles. I will find out from my buddy what happened to Tim. So I don't know. Because remember, his is the same thing that Jeffrey is going for, his money that the state owes him. So and Mr. Bruce Harvey was doing that case. So I don't know what happened because it had to choose one or the other, and I chose Jeffries because Tim's was today as well. I had so many stuff that was due the same time. It was hard to keep up with it. You're gonna be nosy. You want to know where it's at, Kim? It's at the federal court on 15A. That's where the courtroom is, 15A, and it's at 9:30 a.m. Are you gonna go? It's 9:30 a.m. Dom K is gonna be there for me. And guys, don't forget to please hit the like button. Yeah, January sounds. It's very busy and exciting month for me. Yes, it is. Very busy, very busy. I have a lot of cases that I am covering. And then February is going to be extremely busy as well. You know what I did plan? I did plan on going to Florida on the 17th. You remember those guys that, because then they have a federal case of the one that went to that kidnapped that girl. They escaped from DeKalb County because it's all the feds got them now. Did a cop have thug watch? Or was that rumored? Missy, I don't know. I don't know about that. Missy, I really don't know. And I don't like to spread rumors. So I don't know. I can't even answer that question. I think it's a rumor because I don't know. Yeah, I have and I'm still thinking about doing YFN Melly. That case. I don't know. I don't know. Because remember, I told you I'm doing cases where I have family, so I can stay for free. And in Vegas, my sister lives in Vegas. Thank you, Naughty Lynn, for the Zelle. Thank you, Naughty Lynn. I appreciate you for the Zelle. Shout out to Naughty Lynn for hold on, gotta put the money bringer in here. Thank you, Naughty Lynn. Remember I was saying I'll go places that I have family. I'll go places that I have family so I can have some place to stay. And I don't have to worry about begging you guys for stuff because y'all be fickle sometimes. Y'all be fickle. 1 minute y'all love me, next minute y'all talking about me bad. So I can't put my trust on y'all. Nope. Can't do it. Y'all fickled. Jeff needs his belongings to be returned back to him. Absolutely. Hey, oh my God. Where the heck you been? You know what? I should stop banding some of you guys that disappeared from me. Roll one up. Oh my God. You did me dirty. I have not seen you. Is Tyler Perry in Atlanta? I don't know. I think his case is going to be in California. Now, stuff in California, I'm not going. California is too far, and then I don't have anybody that lives in California that I would stay with. So, no, I wouldn't do it. I wouldn't do California. I'm going to stick with stuff around here. But I'm definitely going to do that young lady, y'all, because I noticed how people were very interested in that case. So I'm going to do some more research, and I'm going to do some FOIA requests. Try to see if I can get those calls. I kind of like getting calls now, y'all. I kind of like that. Before I was like, that's so nosy. I don't like being nosy into people's business like that. But you know what? It's very soap opera-ish. It's kind of interesting to be nosy and be legally nosy. You know what I'm saying? Legally nosy. So, yeah. I told you I tried to get cash out stuff, right? They was trying to charge $1,700 for that call. I was like, oh, y'all can keep the calls. I don't want to hear the calls that bad. That's a little bit too much. I don't want to hear that call. Yeah. I got another set of calls. I got some Cecil calls, y'all. Oh, we're going to end this live. I got to go because my prayer time is about to start. You guys been wonderful. I got to do my prayer. Then I got to do, I'm going to do the Cecil for those who didn't get a chance to see Cecil. If I don't do it tonight, I'm going to do it on Wednesday. I'm liking the calls too, the way you play them with the case you're covering. Yeah. So I'm gonna get I'm gonna try to see what they're gonna do with the girl call if they're gonna release them. That's what I'm gonna do. But anyway, my darlings, I just appreciate you guys coming in here. Don't forget to hit the like button. It helps me to get in the algorithm so this channel could start doing what it's supposed to do, okay? What it's supposed to do. Because I work hard and I think I should be up there like everybody else. But you know what? Because I'm not into the messiness. I'm not into the messiness, so that's why mine is not growing that much. But you know what? In due season, in God's time, it will happen. So, on the meanwhile, you guys have a great night, and I thank you so much for being here. May God bless you, keep you, and let His light shine upon you. Many, many, many blessings to you guys. I love you guys. Have a good night. Bye.
Thank you for watching the infamous Sylvia channel, where laughter and fun make up our panel. Together we build this digital spree. We appreciate you and our growing family. With mods by our side and chat flowing free in this online space. It's just you and me, we laugh until tears roll down like the rain. In this virtual world, you ease all my pains. We're a family, not just a show. Every click and comment makes us grow. Mods and chat, keeping the vibe so right. Together we shine like stars in the night. We cherish the moments, the highs and lows, from the latest gossip to stories untold. You're more than a viewer, you're part of the crew in this space of ours. It's all because of you. This digital world where emotion is shared, every post and reaction showing we care. The love is real in this virtual domain. With every sign and joys what we'll gain. We're a family, not just a show. Every click and comment makes us grow. Mods and chat, keeping the vibe so right. Together we shine like stars in the night. We're a family, not just a show. Every click and comment makes us grow. Mods and chat, keeping the vibe so right. Together we shine like stars in the night. This digital world where emotion is shared, every post and reaction showing we care. The love is real in this virtual domain. With every sign and joy's what we'll gain. We're a family, not just a show. Every click and comment makes us grow. in the